Hey there! Today I'm going to share with you 5 simple key tips on how to do your hair and makeup to give you the perfect passport photo. So tip number 1, you're going to want to wear your hair down. It's important that you wear your hair down because although a nice high pony or a messy bun might look good on the day-to-day, when you're staring straight at the camera, it might not leave you with the most flattering look. You're going to want to try to line up a fresh haircut or a fresh blowout with your passport photo to give you the perfect hair day. Let's face it, ladies, if our hair looks good, we look good. Tip 2, natural is key. Whether your photo is in black and white or color, bright colors aren't going to give you the most flattering look, especially under that fluorescent light. So you're going to want to try to keep it as natural as possible. So to start, I'm going to start off with a good concealer. I like to put a little bit on my fingertips, and I rub it in my fingertips first so I don't get big globs on my face. And then you just kind of pat it around your face. You're going to want to make sure you blend well. You're going to want to blend in your neckline so you're not left with a clear, harsh line that shows the world that you have got a bunch of makeup caked on your face. You're also going to want to get your eyelids nice and good because this is going to be a primer for your eyeshadows and your eye makeup. So picture it as a base. So I've got it rubbed in real good with my hairline. Want to make sure I get under the eyes real good. This is especially key if you have dark circles. And then again, the neckline. So you can do this with a sponge or your fingers work just as fine. I like to keep it as simple as possible using as minimal tools and makeup to give natural and easy tips. So now I've got my base all blended in. Just give my hands a quick wipe. Now I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. So my eyebrows are very thin and they're hard to see on camera. So I like to use a dark brown pencil that has one of these little brush tip attachments. This is just going to add a little bit of definition along with giving me a natural brow texture. So I'm just going to color in where my natural brow lies. I'm going to extend it just a little bit further and you can see the difference right away. Now for the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure I fill it in nice and even. And that little tail extension, just to give it a little bit of length and definition. Now it's important that you have a brush that has one of these little brushes on the end because a quick brush up here gives you that texture of an eyebrow without having any clear, hard lines on your face because you want everything to look as natural as possible. Next, I'm going to move on to my eyeshadows. So you're going to want to keep it light again. So I have dark brown eyes, so I like a nice natural palette that I use. And I start with the darkest color here. As you can see, it is a little bit darker than my eyebrow, but once we blend it in, it's going to be lighter than you expect. So you want to get a good bit here in our crease. Crease on both sides. This gives you the definition of the natural placement of where your eye sits on your face, which makes your eyes pop while keeping it classy and simple. So if you don't have a brush like this, you can also use your fingertip. Do a small little circle on the corner, and then another small little circle on the corner here. And like that, you see that it was a dark brown color. It leaves us with this very nice, light, neutral color that is not too heavy on our face. So then, I like to take one of these lighter shades of the neutral. You can even blend two if you're looking to get a color in between. And then I work my way from the corner inside of the lid to the outer side, like so, to try to blend it while tapering off in between the two colors. Now, what's nice about this is, let's say you happen to mess up. All you have to do is get a little bit of that color. Just do a quick dab. Again, you can use your fingertip for the lighter color as well if you don't have any tools, which is pretty neat. Then I like to take this highlighter and I like to go right underneath my brow line. This smooths out and gives a lighter look to the top half of our eyes, keeping it even more natural than if you have nothing at all, because it separates the eyeshadow that you did put on with a little bit of a light highlighter, which is pretty neat technique. Next, you're going to want to put your mascara on. Now, again, keeping it light, you're going to want to only do the top lashes. You're not going to want to get your bottom lashes because we're going to want our eyes to look light and natural, not too heavy. And a tip to putting on your mascara is, once you have your brush, you just kind of run it through a tissue or a paper towel, get that excess off. And what that does is prevent any big globs or chunks from getting stuck on your eyelashes and giving you that tacky look. So again, you're going to want to just get your top lashes here, like so. And you can see the difference between my right eye and my left eye. You can already see that it's popping naturally with very little effort. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same on my left eye. And I like to give it a few passes here to make sure that I've got a nice even coating on all my lashes. Okay, just like that, we've got our mascara on. Again, just the top lashes. Now, moving on to eyeliner. You're going to want to make sure that you tone it down a little bit. So if your natural look is an under eyeliner line or a cat eye, you might want to reconsider that and go with just a thin top lid. Because if you have a long lash or a long line, then that gives you opportunity for if you have a funky twitch, then all of a sudden your picture comes out a little wacky. And we want our picture to be perfect and beautiful. So I like to use a nice gel tip here. This gives me easy control over where I'm drawing my line and gives it a smooth look. And it is much easier than having to deal with a pencil. And I get it in one pass on each side, keeping everything consistent and looking smooth. So you might want to pull out your eyelid just a little bit so you can make sure that you're not getting ripples. That's what that helps with. So if you just draw on like normal, your eyelid is going to be a little bit close together and you might get some bumps. So if you pull it out just a little bit here, you can get a nice smooth line. And just like that, you can already see again the difference on the sides. And I'm going to go ahead with my left eye. And same as with my mascara, I like to go over an extra pass just to make sure that I've got everything smooth and consistent. And just like that, I've got my eyeliner, my mascara, my eyebrows, my foundation, everything on, and you can already see that I still look natural with minimal effort of makeup. Now, one thing you might choose to do is a little bit of contouring, and I'm actually going to show you how to do that with a simple eyeshadow. Now, again, you're going to want to make sure that you're not going too heavy. I get my darker color and I just do a few little dots here up at my hairline. Then I'm going to do a little bit on my cheeks. I'm going to suck in my face so I can see where my bone structure is, and this gives me the best lineup. And then a little bit here under the chin. Now again, this is going to be very minimal because this is just going to help with the textures and the shadows of the way your face is going to be looking on just like a plain white backdrop. And it's going to give you a good contour, but look just like a natural angle. So I just take my brush and I just kind of go in light circles until I've got it blended in. If you need to get a little bit more to make sure you're even, go ahead and do that. And then my last little part here on my hairline, which this is one of my favorite tips, is doing this with eyeshadow and not a contour pencil, because it's a great way to save money and use the tools that you already have. Now I like to just go over again with my fingers just to get it really blended in, because we don't want any harsh lines showing up. Next, we're going to do our lips. So again, we're going to want a nice neutral, natural color. So I've picked out a shade very similar to my lip tone. And I'm just going to do a light coat. Get a nice even layer on my top and bottom lip. Then give it a little rub in. Now another trick is I like to keep Q-tips on hand in case you ever mess up just a little bit. You don't have to worry about wiping off your whole face and doing it again. A Q-tip is the perfect tool to just swoop around the edges of your lips, your eyelids, your eyebrows, anywhere where you might have gone a little bit outside the lines. And just like that, I cleaned it all up and I didn't need to redo anything. Pretty awesome. Tip number 3, get matte fast. You're going to want to make sure that you use a matte powder, kind of like this powder that I have, whichever goes good with your skin tone. You're going to want to finish your look with a matte powder because it's going to stop you from looking shiny, which in return on camera is going to make you look greasy. So we don't want that. That's not going to leave for a flattering photo. So this also helps kind of cement your look in, a nice finishing touch. You can see you don't need a lot. You want to make sure that you blend it in around your neckline and your hairline real well so you don't have that line. Again, keeping it as natural as possible. And then once you're done with your matte, you're going to want to blot off any excess or any oil, or right before your photo, you're going to want to pat your face down. So you can do that with blotting paper or you can do that with a simple tissue. So you just have to take your tissue, do a little blot, make sure you kind of get all around your face there. And you see a little bit comes off on the tissue, which not too much extra, so that tells me that I didn't cake too much on, and it's going to keep my face looking fresh and not greasy for my passport photo. Tip number 4, wardrobe staples. You're going to want to make sure that you stick with a nice staple piece that you already love. Not go too crazy with a bunch of wild prints. If you have dark hair like myself, you're going to want to choose a lighter color, like I've done with my nice light mint green. It's one of my favorite colors. It definitely helps if you choose a shirt that you already get a lot of compliments on. If you have a nice light hair color, like a blonde, you're going to want to go with some darker colors, maybe a navy blue or along those lines. That's going to give you that contrast because when you're standing against a white backdrop, you're going to want to make sure that you're nice and leveled out. You got a good contrast between your hair and your shirt and the backdrop, along with your perfect makeup. Tip number 5, practice your smize. Smiling with your eyes. This is going to help prevent any off-putting expressions that you might have or might give off by accident by staring blankly at a camera. It is important that you remain calm, relaxed, and stay confident. You're going to want to make sure that you've got your shoulders back, that you're looking ahead, and you're smiling with your eyes, because not everywhere you can smile in your passport photo. So you're going to want to try to keep it as calm and natural as possible while brightening up your photo with just your eyes. That can make the difference between an angry, pouty look and a bright, cheery, happy look. Remember to follow these tips and tricks to give yourself a beautiful, timeless, and perfect passport photo. Thanks for watching these hair and makeup tips for the perfect passport photo.